So here's an example of what I was talking about earlier with them making the world feel more alive while also making it so it makes sense. What in the heck is that? That is an irradiated frog, that is. Let's go ahead and try and smash it here. Unfortunately, I had to cut out this little bit of the video because my controls completely reset and it messed up absolutely everything. And so I shot, basically what happens, I shot at this rad stag right here, and then I had to go in melee, and meleeing messed up pretty much everything control-wise, but it seems to be all fixed right now. But this building right here is a great example of what I was talking about earlier with them trying to make the world work for having other players in it. So my brother and I actually sat here. He played the banjo, and I played the mouth harp. What you can do is you go up there just like you can in the vault with the acoustic guitar, and you can just start playing the banjo, and you can sit here playing the banjo. Other people in the area can hear the banjo, and I think it's actually kind of a cool thing. I feel as though Fallout 76 can work. It really can, but it's really going to come down to the interactions that you have with other players. And as much as Bethesda wants to try to make it so what other players do does not affect you in a negative way, it can still eventually happen, right? Now, here is going to be some wood that we can go ahead and gather. There's going to be a lot of gathering here in this game. It's actually a big part of Fallout 76, which we will be going over here just in a little bit. We had that hunting tower right there. I'm trying to get my bearings without looking at the map. There's going to be what I believe is actually a little bit of a raider shack somewhere around here. There's a farm up this way and then an unmarked building down this way according to the map. Let's just go ahead and open up the map itself. That might be what we're looking for right there, which actually makes sense. I believe my brother and I came down this way beforehand. And the further you get from the vault, the more you're going to start seeing these different things that you can do in Fallout 76. They basically revamped the entire crafting system, which I think is actually a very good change. They revamped pretty much all of that, and they've given you a reason to go out into the world and explore as much as you can, because pretty much everything that you find can be helpful in one way or another. By default, I believe survival abilities are on. They are actually a factor. Like, you are going to get hungry, you are going to get thirsty, and you need to maintain those things, otherwise it's going to be an issue. And unfortunately, I'm out of ammo here, and I did find earlier that let's go ahead and equip the machete. I need one-handed melee weapons anyway. There are going to, it's a Moonshiner Shack, okay, as compared to the Raider Shack that I called it earlier. But there are going to be these ticks in here. Now let's go ahead and show you guys what the VATS system is like. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. All it really does... Z and C target. Okay. So, VATS... I'm out of AP, so I can't really VATS right now. VATS and then Z... Okay, this is so unintuitive. Okay, am I in VATS anymore? What's going on here? VATS, then Z a bunch of times. Okay, it doesn't really do anything. So you just start swinging while you're in VATS, and that actually works. VATS no longer slows down time like it did previously. It's all real time because, of course, you're in a world with other people. And as a result, the system is super clunky. It's very counterintuitive. I'm really not a huge fan of that. But like I said, here's going to be a chemistry station. Then over here is going to be a bunch of things you can loot. And I believe inside this building... Yeah, right here. There's another tick. Right in here is going to be a weapons workbench where you can modify as well as you can scrap your items and also craft different things. But to be able to craft different things, you have to find these different plans out in the world. Right now, I can make a big board, which is pretty powerful as is. Let's go ahead and make ourselves a level 1 board. There we go. And from there, we can actually modify it, but you have to back out of this and then go back into the station under the modify/repair, which you may say that's kind of weird. Like, why are they trying to do it that way? But I think that's because there are so many options when it comes to crafting all these different things that it makes sense to have them be in separate locations. So the board, we can upgrade to be spiked if we have 3 adhesive and 3 steel, which we have enough to do that. So let's go ahead and make our board even stronger by adding a bunch of spikes to it. That's pretty freaking cool. What can we do here? We can't upgrade the knuckles. You can upgrade the pipe pistol to make it a little bit better by adding in different kinds of barrels and stuff like that. But you need to have, of course, the materials here. And how you get those materials, let's exit this yet again, is to scrap your items. You can choose to scrap all of your junk right away by pressing T, or you can scrap individual things. For the sake of this, let's go ahead and scrap all the individual things here. And then let's go ahead... I mean, if I'm meleeing anyway, let's go ahead and scrap the pipe pistol and get what we can out of that. And we can keep the party hat. Might as well keep the party hat. We don't need the knife really here either. Let's go ahead and scrap that. Actually, how's my board doing? Because it's brand new, the condition is full. So you may remember from the other Fallout games, like Fallout 3 and New Vegas, that you can repair your items, like repair your board, for example, by breaking down other boards, right? Well, that's not how it works here in this game. If you want to repair things, again, you have to go into the repair section here, and then from there, you can repair what you have by pressing T and then repairing it with different things, whether it's steel, wood, and adhesive, or whatever. Right now, the condition of my weapons is actually okay, so I don't need to do that as of right now, but that's how the repairing system works. And also, just again, gives you a reason to basically go ahead and try to find everything you can out there in the world. Everything is helpful. It can help you make different kinds of drinks, it can help you make different kinds of food, and healing, and meat, and all sorts of stuff like that. Because I killed that radstag, I can actually make some grilled radstag. Now, as you can see here, it's going to restore 20% of my food bar, which is pretty good, and also is going to give me extra carrying capacity for a short period of time, as well as restore my health, but it will give me a little bit of radiation, and I believe as well, the longer the food sits in your inventory, the worse the condition will get, and eventually it can spoil, and spoiled food does not give you as many benefits as non-spoiled food, right? Fresh food. So that's definitely a very interesting way to go about things. I like the fact that all of these different survival mechanics are built into the game itself. And I know some people may not like that because not everybody is interested in playing survival. But for me personally, I've always enjoyed playing like hardcore or survival or what have you in the various Fallout games. So to me, it's kind of cool that that's built into the game by default. Now, let's continue on down here and explore this building. I want to actually go a little bit of a different way than I went with my brother, but for the sake of, for right now anyway, let's go to the areas that I have actually been to. Actually, I don't think I've actually, we actually may have walked right past this, or did we? No, I think we may have actually came here. Because I remember this giant pond right here, and there's the inner tube out there. Obviously, if you know Fallout, don't go out into the water because radiation is bad. But, I mean, harvesting little things like that, that's going to be very helpful going forward. And obviously the objective, as you guys can see there in the top right, is to go and find the Overseer's camp. But honestly, I'm all about just exploring the world. And over there, we're going to see a Protectron, which I want to show you guys that Protectron here in a second, because it's actually very interesting what's going on with it. So we can actually gather these logs. Can I gather them over and over or not? Okay, I can gather a little bit of wood from there. Okay. And then you come over here. There's going to be a lot more wood here in this building. And we're also going to find a Tinker's Workshop, which is going to, I think, allow you to build different kinds of ammo, right? So you can build pretty much any ammo you want, but you're going to need lead, steel, and gunpowder. And lead, in my experience so far, lead and gunpowder are actually kind of hard to come by. And this is how you can make all sorts of different ammo for all sorts of different weapons that you have. Right now, I'm basically only doing melee, so I don't really need to, you know, make a bunch of ammo or anything, but that's a thing in the game, which I think is pretty interesting. Go ahead and grab that boiled water as well as that stim pack. This game definitely heavily rewards you gathering as much things as you can, which is kind of the point of Fallout, right? You're supposed to go out there and explore, though in the earlier Fallout games, there really wasn't a big incentive on that besides going to complete different missions and quests and stuff. One of the great things they did in Fallout 4 is they gave you an incentive to even go back to places you've been before because you want to go there and make sure you've looted all the materials that you possibly can. You want to get as much adhesive as you can. You want to get this, that, and the other thing, and ooh, this is interesting. So a Dictol is right there, and there's also a character. Let's go ahead and just smash up this freaking tick right here. I love how powerful this thing is. It basically one-hits all these level 1 ticks. How many of you guys are there? One hit's all it takes. I like building into strength like this. This is actually kind of fun. My first character, like I said, I built into intellect, and as a result, I'm not very good with this. A job opportunity. Let's go ahead and read this. Gary, which may actually be the person sitting here, I'm not entirely sure. You sick of cutting wood over there yet? I've been working at West Virginia Lumberyard for a few weeks now, and it's a world of difference. Better pay, better hours, and best of all, no robots. Okay, so this is Gary we're sitting here. This is a note from Paul to Gary. I've talked to the foreman here, and he's looking for a few more guys. You better grab the gang and head over here before someone else fills your spot. So this is a different lumber mill, and I believe this is Gary who is reading the note here as a job opportunity. Now, like he said, there are robots, right? And there's, of course, this entire idea of like robots maybe taking jobs from humans in the future, and of course, this is set in the future. Well, here are some of those robots, and here is an old truck. I love the environmental storytelling. Here's a truck that was here that was loading up some wood, but it's been basically sunken into the earth and rusted over the course of all this time. But here are going to be some of those Protectrons. Let's go ahead and talk to him as he runs into the wall. I'm interacting, but nothing's happening. Oh, you can see up there in the top left, wood scraps added.
Does not want to lose lumberjack job to cheap human labor dispensing desirable wood product.
So what these Protectrons do around this lumberyard anyway is they have continuously, over the course of the 25 years that it's been since the bombs fell, they just keep going around and cutting up lumber. And occasionally you can talk to them and they'll actually give you some wood. And it's kind of cool that you can see that note there from Paul to Gary, talking about how over at the, what's it called, the West Virginia Lumberyard, where there aren't any robots and it's all humans, right? And you're actually getting paid for doing your job as compared to here, where it's a little bit different, right? That's kind of interesting. Waste acid. We actually need that acid for various different things. Okay, here's a footlocker that we can unlock, but we don't have any bobby pins to unlock it. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Because you don't even need a skill to do it. You just need to have bobby pins in general. Let's go ahead and grab this wood here. Apparently, I forgot to grab this wood my first time running through here. But yeah, it's kind of cool how the stories can be told like that. And right here, you guys hear gunshots off in the distance? Well, that's another player shooting at something off in the distance. Or perhaps shooting at one another. Though I have noticed that PvP really isn't a big deal here in this game, at least as of right now. Let's go ahead. Another one of those bots. Let's talk to him and get some wood. There we go. 10 wood scraps. I love that, man. That's so freaking cool. We can head over this way. And we have another one of these bots. I like the lights that they have. They're very visible from a distance, and they're not hostile whatsoever. I imagine if I were to hit these bots, they would eventually become hostile. Oh, speaking of hostile, that's a hostile Protectron and a Liberator bot. It's killing the Liberator bot. Hey, so aren't we on the same team here? Oh, so we blew him up pretty much immediately. But the Protectron here is actually hurting me quite a bit. So let's run away from that right now and try to heal. Because keep in mind, because this is an open world, I cannot just stop and open up my Pip-Boy and have that, pause the game for me. That's not how the game works. So I need to get a little bit of cover. Go over here to aid. I can actually set these up to my hotkeys. Let's go ahead and just use the stim pack, get my health back. And now, let's go and find that angry rogue Protectron. This jerk. I want to try and use the... Oh, I don't have any AP. Ooh. I don't have any AP really to, go ahead and try and use VATS whatsoever. But that's fine. We'll just go ahead and do it this way. Go up there with a bit of fisticuffs and take him out. I really don't like the VAT system. And here, this is interesting. I'm not sure how this works. So, these are petrified corpses, right? And they look pretty cool, but how did they become petrified? Was it the nuclear blast? Because not every corpse is petrified like this. Is it something else that is petrifying them? Is it perhaps the Mothman? I don't know. I really don't know. And once you blow them up like that, by the way, lots of radiation will start spewing from their body. And what happened here? We have a raider, a full-on raider corpse here, who has a grenade. This is the first raider I've actually seen. There's a radstag dough here, which I'm very thankful for, because that radstag meat is actually very helpful. But that's really interesting. Wow, okay. So, going back to what I was talking about earlier, with the idea of you playing with your friends and stuff like that, one of the very cool features about this game is the radios are synced up. Now, I'm not sure if they're synced up to the server that you are in, or if they're synced up to your party, because I've noticed if you turn on your radio in areas like this, where you're kind of like off and away from things, then that radio sometimes doesn't turn on immediately. And once you walk away, then it eventually turns on. But if you and your friend both are tuned in to Appalachia radio here, for example, then it'll play the same radio station for both of you. And because of copyright, I don't want to risk it right now. I don't know how the entire system works as of right now, so I don't want to mess around with copyrighted music perhaps as of right now. But that's a cool little feature. And also, as you can see, we have these different radio stations. There's 4 of them so far, and I hope that we can actually find the stations themselves where the music is actually coming from, because there are no DJs to these radio stations. There are just music that plays from them. So there's got to be a radio station somewhere out here in this vast, vast world that is playing that, right? And I've heard that this map is actually 4 times the size of the Fallout 4 map. And if that's the case, that's pretty freaking insane. You can see it's actually pretty big. We've gone how far here in this video, and, you know, I haven't really gone really that far from the vault. We've just been around this general area here. And every dot you see, by the way, is going to be another person. So that's interesting, but also kind of, I don't know. On one hand, it's kind of cool. You can see, like, hey, if I go down to this area, there's a bunch of other people. But at the same time, it kind of takes away from the random encounters of other people if you know exactly where they are. But regardless, let's go ahead and try the VATS system here again. Okay, so you just kind of like go flying in, and then it takes away like all of your AP and like automatically hits for you. That's odd. It's really weird, especially when you're using a gun. And you guys saw that screenshot with my brother and I. This is where it was. So because we bought like the special edition of the game or whatever, this is where you can craft different things, by the way. You can craft these different patriotic hats and stuff like that, which are things you get for pre-ordering a special edition of the game. But also, while you're here at this leather workbench, or I'm actually not sure the exact name of this workbench, you can start working on different pieces of armor, which is pretty important considering I haven't really found a whole lot of armor. So let's go ahead and get that. We'll get a left arm, and we'll get ourselves a right arm. I don't have enough to... Oh, actually, I have just enough to make pretty much everything. So we have both the arms, and now let's get both the legs. Oh, I don't have enough because the legs cost more than the arms do. I have almost enough to make an entire little set here. But also, another cool feature of Fallout 76 is the idea of the outfits, right? So one of my biggest complaints that I had with Fallout 4 is you can either choose to have like a role play kind of a look to your character where you're wearing like, you know, Wastelanders outfits, for example, or you can actually have armor. And I wish these would go away. I don't need that to be in my face right now. Let's go ahead and put on this. So let's put on the glasses and the chest piece and the leg and the arm. I can even put on the party hat if I wanted to. But here you can see, this is my character. This is how you would look in Fallout 4, right? But if I had an outfit, whether it's like a lumberjack's outfit or a police officer's uniform or something like that, I could put that on, and I'll still have all the benefits of the armor that I'm wearing, but I'll look like I'm just a police officer or, you know, a survivor or, you know, a guy in a casual outfit or what have you, right? And that's really cool. It's like transmog if you've played WoW or Diablo or anything like that. I believe I hear a tick. Something in here. Maybe not. A little bit of ammo. All right. I like that. I'm a big fan. Now, if I recall, you can get on top of this roof over here. Yeah, you can't go through this back door, and the doors inside are actually blocked off. But you can either gather this wood or jump to the top of it, and if you do that, you can go to this duffel bag, which has nothing in it, apparently, and this ammo box, which has a little bit of stuff in it. Then we can gather the wood. Oh, so the wood doesn't disappear when you grab it. Okay, I was under the impression that it did. That's interesting. And now, it looks like the sun is starting to come up. I didn't explore this before. We have a watchtower, boys. Here's an undetonated bomb. Well, if I die, know that I loved all of you. Oh, no! Oh, no! What happens? Okay, so I haven't died. When my brother and I played, we haven't died yet. I don't know what happens. Let's cut the blue wire. If I die, just know I loved you guys. Oh! Well, it would appear I cut the wrong wire. That is so cool. Okay, so I imagine lots of radiation would be here. I guess not. Huh. So there's really no downside. So this is also an interesting aspect. Never mind. These are just rocks. So mining is in this game. You can mine like copper and iron and things like that, which of course can be used. Crafting is a huge part of this game, right? Go ahead and grab this stuff. I've never seen this fire tower. And I go to a real life fire tower like every year. In fact, I should go back down there. It's a bit of a drive, but it's a nice walk. It's like 2 miles into the woods in the Allegheny National Forest. I live in Pennsylvania, if you guys don't know. Oh, goodness, actually scared me. I live in Pennsylvania, so I'm near like the Allegheny National Forest. Okay, if you guys could not. And there's a fire tower, like an old fire tower, very similar to this, out there in the woods. And you can climb to the top of it, and it's very sketchy because like you're at the top of the tower, you're really high up there. There's like nothing really protecting you or anything, but it's a really nice view. And here we have kind of the same thing, which is kind of neat. Now, where did those bodies fall? I will say I almost don't like how much foliage is here in this game because it's almost hard to see. But like I said, the reason why, I guess, is because the nukes didn't devastate this area that much. But I'm glad the sun's finally coming up because you guys are finally going to be able to see one of the things I almost don't like about the game. I would say Fallout 76 is almost too colorful. And you'll be seeing that, especially once the sun gets overhead. What's going to be in here? All right. I fully expected something to be here. All right. Now, that's some 25-year-old dookie is what that is. All right. Let's go. I want to climb this. What we have here, though, I need some bobby pins. I need to find some bobby pins, man. Apparently, there are some robot vendors out in the world. And those vendors, you can buy different things. This is neat. This is really neat. So here's an acoustic guitar. Like I said, little things like that. Like, we can literally, if you were to find some people, or if, like, just you and your friend, you can come here and just play the guitar, right? And just hang out, you know? That's cool. I mean, if you're looking for like role-playing and stuff, that's kind of cool from an immersion standpoint. I thought because of the shadows right here, I thought the fire was already activated. That'd be interesting. Now, as of right now, you can invite your friends. Every time I want to start talking, something else happens. Let's go ahead and grab this. It's a recipe, and that recipe needs to be learned from the notes. Nuka tap? Oh, wait, that's holotape. Okay, here's the recipe, and we can press space to learn it. And so now when I'm cooking, I can learn to make that thing. But so from my understanding, right, if you have a friend on Bethesda.net here, you can join your friend's session. You guys can play out in the world. And I think there's a total of maybe like 24 people that can be in the world at one time. But I think Bethesda was talking about at one point later on in the future, making it so you can have like private matches almost with your friends. And I think that would actually be one of the coolest things you could do for this game. Like, if I could have what is essentially a server here in Fallout 76, that would be awesome. Like, a server where my brother and I and, like, our friends, or maybe even a couple of subscribers that we trust, like, all of our characters could be in that world. And it doesn't matter if, other people aren't online anymore or anything. The only characters you'll see in this world are going to be us, right? That'd be really neat. Like, we can build up our settlements together. That is where I think the game will really shine. But as of right now, I'm pretty positive that the world you join may be different every time you join it. And by the way, this is freaking awesome. I didn't come here with my brother, by the way. Like I said, this is a way that we didn't take, so I've never seen this. This is cool, dude. And there's a bed. Oh, this is so cool. Short hunting rifle. That's awesome. And then dirty ash. Wait, dirty ash. We'll take that, but can we actually... Oh, we can't activate the radio. Okay, I thought we could. Let's take the lantern, I guess. Let's take all this. Let's take all these things, man. These are going to be helpful later on. Ammo right there. Toy rocket ship. I'm sure we can scrap that to make some things. Oh, check this out. Wait, we can press E to survey the area. What's that? Oh, so this, what game is that? What game is Far Cry? It's like Far Cry, where you get to the top of a tower like this, and it updates your map? Oh, that's so cool. I need to tell my brother about this. We have to come back here. Oh, a gas canister? It's usually pretty good. That gives you lots of good materials, if I recall correctly. So that's going to update our map and add more things to it that maybe weren't there before. By the way, here's where the objective is. That's where they want us to go, is the Overseer's Camp, which we will eventually be doing that. But honestly, I'm having more fun doing this. Like, part of me doesn't want to get too far into the story or anything like that here during the beta. Part of me just wants to explore. I identified 14 different locations. Holy crap. So I'll bet there's going to be a bunch of towers like this. Ranger outfit. Awesome. I'm glad I just saw that. So now I can show you guys what I was talking about. Items, go over here to apparel, and then we can turn on the Ranger outfit and the Ranger hat. Keep in mind, you guys can see I still have all the leather pieces of armor and stuff that actually give me damage resistance and stuff. But when we look at my character, I just look like a ranger, right? That's so cool. I'm happy they did that. Apparently there was actually a mod like that for Fallout 4, but I wasn't aware of that mod. Nobody told me that mod existed. So my character always ran around with this stupid leather armor on. I think it was actually shadowed leather because I was a sneaky sniper kind of a character.
It's all over, but the crowd